Hello everyone, this is Ariane Arsenault from La Fille de la Mer. Thanks for joining me today. I am doing a special video on a new piece of equipment that I've got from soapmaking.com. So they were generous enough to give me different pieces of equipment for me to test, put together, and show you how to use in exchange for videos. So today we're gonna put together their light tank. Soap Equipment has been in business since 1996. They are the original creators and designers of all of their equipment. And they were so nice to help me scale up and do bigger soap production. And I'm really happy to share that with you. I am not good at instructions manual. Like literally I look at them and I don't understand. There's something that doesn't wire correctly in my brain. I'm a visual, and I think many people can relate to that. So I thought it would be good to do an assembling video with you so that when you buy your own light tank, then you know how to put it together. So first of all, what is a light tank? So it is a big tank. That's the one. The other one on the side is an oil tank. It's an oil melter. But the light tank basically stores a master batch of lye water solution that is ready for you to use when you need it. It can be stored in there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So you can just make a whole bunch and then you just pour the quantity that you need out each time you make soap. Let's look at what's in the box, all of the parts that you need, what you will need to assemble it and get it done. In the box, you have, of course, the instructions manual. Even though I'm not good at it, it is a nice reference sheet to have, and you should always read it through before assembling any equipment that you buy. You have the tube plug and the pipe seal, or the pipe cement. This is the heater thermostat with capillary tube plug. Here we have a stainless steel threaded nipple and a polyflow reducer nipple, the ball valve, and you have a band clamp that it's actually just kind of a spare part, but you're gonna put that aside and save it in case you need it later. The tools required to put this together are not much. You'll need a screwdriver, a pair of scissors, and a big wrench. For shipping purposes, when you get your light tank, the handle from the cover will be inside. So you will need to, using a smaller wrench than the big one I showed you, you're gonna have to unscrew these and then flip it around and put the handle on top. Okay, first thing to do. So my light tank is propped on a scale, and it is a 400-pound capacity scale that is also from Soap Equipment. So the scale is here, and then you have the screen that could actually be screwed on the wall or set anywhere you'd like it to be. So for easy use of your light tank, so you can actually mix your lye water on the scale, on the spot. Remember that you should never plug in your light tank before it is completely assembled, thoroughly washed out, and has water in it, okay? It should never be turned on without water, as you could burn the element. So let's remove the tie wraps and get the cords free. Also, these should be plugged in directly on an outlet and not on an extension cord. These machines require a lot of energy to work, so they need their own outlet. You may need to have an electrician come and do some, electrician stuff so that your machine is safely plugged in. So this is kind of a little putty, and I'm just gonna take some and apply it all around. And this is gonna help keep a tight seal on your machine. The heater will need to be upwards when it is in use, so we're going to go ahead and screw that in. With the pipe cement, it will produce a really tight seal. And this is when the wrench may become handy. Yep. So that we can have it in the right position. Pretty sure this is nice and tight. There we go. I'm just gonna give a quick wipe around so that we don't have too much of the pipe seal around and that I don't get it all over every time I'm around this area of the tank. Next step, we're gonna insert this probe into, there's a little hole right here, and this is actually our thermometer. So we're gonna put it in there and push it, let's see, push it as far down as it'll go, or in. Okay. Yep. Oops. And this is when we're going to be using the tube plug. Oops. I'm going to cut a little piece off, put the rest back in there in case I need it sometime later. And this is kind of a putty, and we're just going to put it in there, kind of soften it up and make sure that this here stays in place and that it does not move around. Now, I'm going to just get this together so that it doesn't float around. And I'm gonna go get a little tie wrap, I have some, and just secure it so it doesn't move from here. You could probably do that with electrical tape or, you know, something handy. Just a little ribbon, tie it around and secure it so it doesn't move, and voila. All right, now let's turn this around. Let's move these things out of the way. And remember, we're not plugging this in yet. So this is where the ball valve will be placed. And the first thing to do, again, is to take the pipe seal and coat both ends with it so that we have a nice tight seal. And the other side as well. There we go. Let's put it in. I wonder if I can get it to, yep. So I'm gonna use my wrench to, oops. It is time to install the ball valve, and I'm just gonna secure the clamp here. It is actually designed so that if you screw this in too far in, it prevents, and it can crack. So this is actually to fix it, but if I just put it aside and keep it for later use, I'm just gonna lose it. So I'm just gonna put it here and secure it there in a couple minutes once I have inserted the ball valve in position. So I want to screw this in, but not too much. Okay. So I think we're good. And let's tighten this one here so it doesn't move around. And if I ever need the clamp, then I'll know where it is. It won't be laying around, you know, somewhere. So this looks good. Here's the threaded nipple, and I'm going to insert it below. So this is actually to help the lye solution go down your container and not splash out. So I'm gonna take my wrench and get this in. All right, I think we're good. I think this is, not sure how far this should go, but let's test and see if it's leaking or not. I'm gonna fill this with water and show you the top of the tank. I brought a couple large pitchers to fill the tank. These are actually from Soap Equipment. They're very big. They have different sizes and they're very useful. I have the arrow pointed this way, meaning that it's shut. So when we open it, water should go through. So let's fill this up. I did have a pitcher with soap and water just to be able to clean the tank at the same time as we're testing it. See if it's sealed tight. And I wanted to have a lot of water in there, because more water is more pressure. So this is a pretty large tank, and it should be very useful when I make lots of soap and I just need to take my lye water pre-made and not have to wait for it to cool down. So I'm just making sure, and using a soft rag, I'm just cleaning everything out, and we have no leaks, by the way. Okay, let's get this emptied and see how water pours. So while we are up here, let's take a look at the inside of the tank. We have the probe here that has the thermometer, and this is the heating element that will actually be heating up the lye solution to the desired temperature for the purpose of soap making. Every soap maker has their favorite temperature, so I'll be able to set it at the temperature I want. Yes, it's finally set up. It's been there for a while. Was not that hard after all. I don't know why I was so scared. I'm scared of big equipment like that. It just scares me to scale up, but I know it's an important part of the process and I need to do it. So thank you so much to Soap Equipment that sent me this amazing equipment so that I could upscale my production. I actually have a big run of soap making that's coming for my summer season. So I will be using the lye tank. I will make it a, mandatory to use it for my lye solution, and I will show you that in another video, but that will be later. Ding! So the reason why I have this big paddle in my hand is because if you buy a lye tank or oil tank or big large soap production molds, get a paddle or 2 or 3. I have 3. They're very useful to stir big batches and to mix up your lye solution also as you make it and as you want to even out the temperature when you're working with it. And it's something that we forget. I actually forgot to get paddles the first time and I had to reorder them afterwards. So the lye tank is set up this way. Now all I will need to do is plug it in when there's lye water in there. Never plug it in empty. I think I mentioned that before, but I just want to make sure, never plug that thing empty because you could burn your element and ruin your lye tank. And if you want to get it ready to work and get it heated ahead of time, you can also get a digital timer that you can program. And so you program it for a couple hours before you get into work, and then it will turn on automatically and have it ready for your desired temperature to get your workday going. So what you would do is actually, make the lye water. It's going to sit in there. You put the cover. It can stay there for maybe 2-3 weeks. So make just enough for what you need for the upcoming weeks, and then set your timer. I don't know that I will right now. I'll see how it goes. And then I will show you that in my next video using the light tank. I'm so excited. Make sure to keep all of your instructions manual, even though if you're not good at reading them like me, keep them handy. I have this little binder and I put all of my soap equipment manual in there, and they are in my office on my bookshelf. This video, I really wanted to concentrate to setting up the light tank, getting it ready, so that anybody that buys one can actually refer to the video and set up their light tank correctly, and have a sort of a step-by-step visual guide. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and stay tuned as I have more content coming. Thank you so much. And remember, soapequipment.com for all your upscale soap making needs. Thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye.